And so now the police are starting to strike back, and suddenly the left has a case of those goodbye blues.
Goodbye blues. Goodbye blues. Lost to loving arms I used to use.
Yes, yes, friends, we're broadcasting here from on top of the Clavin Towers. The chief of the Rochester, New York Police Department and two of his deputies, basically the entire command structure of the Rochester, New York Police Department, has resigned. This comes after days of protest and mounting criticism over the death of Daniel Prude, a black man who was high on PCP, and they had to restrain him. He was, again, resisting arrest. And the thing that is stuck in everybody's minds is that they put a mesh hood over his head. And, this is something we should talk about. A lot of people, as a kid, I was in a lot of fistfights. And that doesn't make me an expert on violence. There are people, obviously, who have lived very violent lives. I'm not one of them. But as a kid, I was in a lot of fistfights. And people who have never been anywhere near a fistfight really don't understand what violence looks like and why it looks different in different ways. So, for instance, the police a lot of times will rat pack a guy. They will pile on him, which is actually a safer way of bringing him down than going after him one-on-one with a weapon, where you really have to hurt the guy in order to bring him down. So they swamp the guy and they put a mesh hood over his head. And the reason they do that is he's high, he's crazy, and it keeps him from spitting and biting. So the guys don't get AIDS, they don't get any kind of the disease that he might be transmitting. So that's why they put it on. But later he died. An autopsy said he died of asphyxiation in a setting of physical restraint. He was in the hospital, it was like 7 days later, and acute PCP intoxication. So we have to think that the PCPs had something to do with it. So now, of course, they come out and they're attacking the police chief, they're attacking the police, and there are all these demonstrations. And the chief of police, La'Ron Singletary, finally came out and said he'd had it, okay? And he said, he said, as a man of integrity, this is his resignation letter, I will not sit idly by while outside entities attempt to destroy my character. He doesn't need this. Why does he need to be attacked? As he's giving his life to service, to helping people, and he's being dragged down into the mud. The police union said what is clear is that the problems of leadership go directly to the mayor's office, and the mayor, whose name, she has like a great name. It's like Lovely, what is it? Mayor Lovely Warren, lovely Mayor Lovely Warren. She came out and she was obviously in shock. She came out and made this statement.
I want to assure our Rochester community that the Rochester Police Department will continue to serve and protect our residents and our neighborhoods. Chief Singletary will remain in charge of the department through the end of the month, and I know that he and the officers will fulfill their duties. We have spoken about maintaining our restraint regarding the ongoing protests and ask all involved to remain peaceful. While the timing and tenor of these resignations is difficult, we have faced tough times before. I truly believe that we will get through this.
So that means nothing. We've faced tough times before. This is bad policy again. This is people putting a moral frame on bad policy. She mishandled her police department. She didn't support her police department. And this is a problem we're having in a lot of these Democrat cities. In Dallas, the police chief, Renee Hall, submitted her resignation letter. This is after she was attacked because she took strong measures against George Floyd protesters in Dallas. And so she resigned. And again, Renee Hall is a black woman. Chief Singletary is a black man. This is like really gutting police departments of people who were very committed to reforming the police. These are not guys, these are not the old police, bring you into the back room and slap you around till they get a confession. That stuff is gone. And it's gone in a lot of these cities. A lot of these cities have modernized. A lot of these cities have made sure that their police department looks like the population of their city. A lot of reform has gone on, but while that reform was going on, tougher police measures were taken in order to bring down crime. And it worked, which made black lives not only better, it kept black people alive. A lot of the victims of crime are black. A lot of the perpetrators of crime are black, and they kept black people alive by increasing the efficiency of their policing by making sure that policing was not just directed at the worst offenders, but also directed at people who just bring the neighborhood down. They call it broken window policing, who break windows, who have graffiti. And now a lot of these neighborhoods fall apart very quickly once they know that nobody's watching, nobody's patrolling. Everything is tickety-boo, including the massive growth of the Daily Wire YouTube channel. Be sure to hit the subscribe button and catch all our future videos right here on YouTube.